I spoke before about the long-distance capabilities. And I want to remind you why do we need it for. Just a few years ago, I led a group of my subordinates to Poland. That's a journey that I can never forget. I took them to Auschwitz, Birkenau, and I've been to Dachau, Germany. And I must tell you that when we left the remains of the gas chambers in Auschwitz-Birkenau, I took these young officers with me to the barracks. It was night and dark and snow, and we were on our way to the airport. And I told my officers, look, we are going back home. In Hebrew, I told them, אנחנו הולכים הביתה. עכשיו, now. הביתה is such a strong word for every one of us. It's about feeling safe. It's about homeland. It's about telling stories to your kids before they fell asleep. It's about a bowl of soup. It's about the smell of the house. It's about knowing that you are safe and you feel your loved ones among you. אנחנו הולכים הביתה עכשיו. Now I told them. And please remember that the people that were here could not say this word, הביתה. They didn't have homeland, they did not have home. And we are going now from Auschwitz-Birkenau to El Al, Israeli airline airplane, blue and white, Magen David. We are flying back home. A few dozens of years after the Holocaust. And I knew that if the state of Israel was there, there was no Holocaust. For sure there was no Holocaust. Because when flight number 139, Air France, was kidnapped to Uganda, the Israeli Special Forces landed in Uganda, Entebbe, thousands of miles from Israel, killed the terrorist, took control of the airport, and brought back the Israelis after the terrorists made selections between Jewish people and others and put the Jewish aside. And we brought them back home. My unit, Shaldag, Kingfisher, the elite unit, was working night by night for many years with the Mossad to bring every night from Sudan desert Ethiopian Jewish people. One night it was 35 people, and one night 120 people, and one night 15 people, to bring them back home secretly. And one day, El Al, Israel Airlines, did not fly at all. Not to Geneva, nor to Vienna, not to Los Angeles. Because all the Israeli fleet, the Air Force, and El Al, and Arkia, and everyone, were flying to Addis Ababa with the Israeli Special Forces to bring back home 18,000 Ethiopian Jewish people. And to bring them back home. This is because there is the state of Israel, and we have long-distance capabilities. And somehow, a nuclear reactor in Iraq exploded, and rumors and media say that same thing happened a few years ago to a nuclear reactor in Syria. And after Munich Olympic Games, after 11 of our delegation to the Olympic Games were murdered by terrorists, many years after, dozens of anyone that was involved, directly or indirectly, in this massacre was killed somehow. One picked up the phone and exploded. The other one went to the bathroom and the bathroom exploded. And all of them. And someone said that it was the Israeli Mossad and special forces that did it, because we have a state. And when an Israeli family is going for holiday to Turkey, by the way, we're not doing that anymore. We're flying to Greece. They are the enemy of Turkey. But once upon a time, Israel, by the way, we do not drink Turkish coffee anymore. Israeli family that time was flying to Turkey, and there was an earthquake, and the hotel collapsed. And under the wreckage was found the body of the father. The mother survived, one of the brothers survived, and there was a girl, her name is Shiran Franco. She was missing, and everybody understood that she's under the wreckage. And the first thing that Shiran Franco, little girl, Israeli girl, saw when the wreckage was removed from her face was the hands of Colonel Itzik Ashkenazi, an IDF doctor, officer, that take her from the wreckage, put her on an Israeli Hercules, and immediately back home to an Israeli hospital. In Turkey, Israeli officers from the search and rescue units of the Home Front Command. And if we needed another event, we had it, unfortunately, a few weeks ago in Burgas in Bulgaria, when a suicide bomber killed Israeli tourists. Many others were badly injured, and somehow, from the sky, arrived the Israeli Air Force, 669 Search and Rescue Air Force Unit, Medical Corps of the IDF, took all the injured people to the flying hospital and back to their homeland, to Israel. That can happen when you have a state, when you have homeland. That's the guarantee for not having second Holocaust. Israel is completely green. It's a part of our nature to build, to plant trees, to live. But we brought a special tree to Israel. You know, 12 years ago, one of my brothers in arms, my subordinate, Major Eitan Balachsan, the commander of the paratroopers commandos, was killed in action. Eitan was good friend, brother in arms. He was under my command for many years as a soldier, as a platoon leader, as a company commander. He was a farmer. He grew up with the family, his family that made Aliyah from North Africa, lived in a moshav close to the Lebanese border, and worked very hard and suffered from infiltrations of terrorists and from Katyusha rockets and from the hard work of being a farmer that works with agriculture. And of course, when he had to recruit, when he was 18, he was volunteered to the paratroopers, like all his family. And he was a very good officer, very brave, very talented. And he led his forces, and as we say, follow me. He led his forces to a raid against Hezbollah, and he was killed in action, not far away from his home. It happened in Lebanon. Eitan was killed. He had a little daughter called Noam, and his wife, Raya. They are a part of my family today. Like we do, like we feel this bond, the commitment. And when Eitan was killed, we plant an olive tree, which is a symbol for many things for us, as you know, and we plant a tree in a beautiful place that you can see from the Galilee, the place that Eitan was killed at, and you can see all the Hula Valley and the northern part of the Galilee. And last February, we brought another tree to Israel. We brought the Anna Frank tree from Amsterdam. I believe you all read Anne Frank's diary. The young girl that was tortured and murdered by the Nazis. And when she was in shelter in Amsterdam, trying to save her life with her family in the shelter, the only thing she could see from the window was that tree. And she wrote a lot about that tree. And unfortunately, the tree in the last few years is sick, and Amsterdam District Council decided to cut it. And we sent a special delegation and we made a lot of negotiations, and we were able to bring a plant from this tree to Israel. And we decided to plant it near the olive tree of Eitan. Anna Frank tree, the Holocaust. Eitan Balasan, major in the IDF, olive tree, the establishment of the State of Israel, from Holocaust to establishment. Anna and Eitan, Eitan and Anna, two young people, different stories, and Am Yisrael Chai. So these trees are both together now, the European tree near this Middle East tree, the olive tree. And since the weather is not always cold up in the north, the mother of Eitan, her name is Tziona, every morning put ice, bucket of ice on this tree, just for him to feel at home. And we are doing our best that it will grow up. That's a unique story of these both trees, both stories of the young people, from Holocaust to establishment. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you to come and visit Israel, to send your children to Israel, and to ask them to stay there, to serve and to make Aliyah. We need your support, your activities. What Jewish people are doing in the diaspora is a part of the strategic efforts of Israel, of course. But if I have to compare what will be my desire and my request from you and from the rest of the Jewish communities worldwide, is come to Israel. We need immediately 1 million Jewish people in Israel, another 1 million, and later on a few more millions. We need to preserve our majority. We need to create growth. We need you there. So I will ask you to follow me. You do not have to take Qantas this Thursday as I do, but you can take next week flights. And please make Israel your personal startup venture. And Bashana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. Thanks very much.
Mr. John Gandel, members of parliament, community leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dvir Abramovich, and as the ADC's vice chair, it is my immense delight to deliver tonight's vote of thanks. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "An individual has not started living until he has risen above the confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of his community and his country. This quote is an apt embodiment of the heroic and remarkable contribution that tonight's orator has made for the security of Israel and the Jewish people. In serving his country, General Hirsch has earned a reputation as one of Israel's finest commanders and combat-decorated soldiers. I'm sure that you were all awestruck by Gal's exceptional dedication, his strong leadership, and his love of country, and felt very fortunate to hear tonight from an individual who has gone above and beyond the call of duty for his nation. The golden thread that unites all ADC's Gandel orators is that they are all men and women of great conviction and great courage. They are leaders who have found in their hearts deep wells of courage to do extraordinary things, the courage to stand up in the face of evil, bigotry, and hatred, and to say, this is wrong. They know that change is never simple or without controversy. They know that change depends on persistence and requires determination. They know that change requires faith and idealism, despite all the obstacles that lie ahead. Gal, you reminded us that selfless dedication and fighting for a cause greater than ourselves are not quaint relics of a bygone era. You have moved us with your words and have inspired us with your actions. You reminded us that the phrase, "never again," is not just a throwaway slogan, but is a living, driving force that animates the defenders of the Jewish people. Values and the centrality of a moral code as the foundation stone of the Israeli Defense Forces were at the heart of tonight's oration. These themes are timely and appropriate because still today, more than 30 years since it was established, the ADC is still working tirelessly in defending the human rights of Jews and non-Jews and championing the values of respect and religious freedom. Our mandate is to stand at the forefront and fight to eradicate all manifestations of anti-Semitism and to act against racism and bigotry wherever they are. Always vigilant, we keep striving, we keep struggling, and we keep marching towards a society that is more fair, more just, and more equal for every single person. Gal, on behalf of all of us in attendance tonight, we thank you for the eye-opening illuminations and insights about national purpose that you shared with us. We are heartened by your message about a strong and confident Israel that will always prevail in an uncertain and threatening world. Hearing you, I was reminded how miraculous is the story of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Because for all the hardships that we have endured, for all our often tragic history, ours is a story of optimism and achievement and constant striving that is truly unique. We wish you much success in all that you do in the years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please ask you to join me in warmly thanking General Gal Hirsch. I have a small gift to present to Gal. It is a beautiful Shil Abbey plate, and it is engraved with the following: presented to the 2012 ADC Gandel Orator, Brigadier Gal Hirsch.